Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Is this live on YouTube right now? I can't tell. Yes, it is. Oh, I got the okay from the Wiz staff in my European office here. Look at the green screen. Super cool. Very cool. Yeah. I guess I'll start as soon as it says I have some viewers. Yeah. So what's new in Europe? What's new is that we're waiting for this squiggle. Get some oh, there we go. Lots of people now all of a sudden. So hello everyone. My name is Steve, and I'm here to talk to you about what's new in Europe. Okay, so if you've ever, first, let's start off. This is the first day ever for What's New in Europe. I'm your host, Stephen, bringing you latest news from the shores of Cyprus, that's like near Greece, to the northern reaches of Scandinavia. That's like here on the map, like right here on this little bit. Yeah, and the country I'm from is here. Does anyone know what country that is? If you do know, and you know where I'm from, please write it in the comments. Comments. Be that way. Comments. Okay. So, what's new in Europe today? Okay, so there's two things that I want to talk about. One of them is protests in Belarus. Do you know Belarus? Let me know if you've been to Belarus in the past. Belarus. Okay, so that's number one that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Belarus. And we're going to talk about the protests in Belarus. Okay. And the second thing I want to talk about is the current Brexit situation in the UK. It's a big mess right now. It's totally nuts. So, thing A, protests in Belarus. Thing number two, or thing B, is the Brexit process right now. Or should I just say Brexit problem? Brexit problems. That's the second topic. Okay, so protests in Belarus. Belarus is a small country in the Baltics. They speak Cyrillic Slavic language. So Cyrillic means like the alphabet that they use for the Russian languages. You know, it has like the big like A that looks kind of like a spaceship or something, and it's pronounced like a D. It's like da. Okay, so Belarus is one of a few countries in the Baltics. There's Belarus, Estonia, Lithuania, and I believe Latvia. And so right now, the current president of Belarus is Lukashenko, and he is basically like a dictator, even though it's Europe, you know, super modern. And so, anyways, in Belarus, Lukashenko was part of the newest election, and they were trying to have an election to see who the new president would be. And Lukashenko won, by a huge number. And it was very obvious to everyone in the country and in the surrounding countries that it was rigged. So it was a rigged election, or we could say electoral fraud. Oh, I pressed a weird button and there's like a spinny thing. I don't know what happened, but who cares? You know, we're having fun. Okay, and the other way of saying that is electoral fraud. I did it again. I pressed the spinny button by accident. Electoral fraud. Okay. Yeah. So he won by a huge number of votes, and everyone was like, nah, I don't believe you. So that's basically what happened. And so people all took to the streets and started protesting. They started protesting the president Lukashenko in huge numbers, like tens of thousands of people or something, started protesting against his presidency and his false election. So lots of fake votes, untrue results, and these protesters are protesting against him because Lukashenko has done kind of bad things in the past. Maybe the police are very violent and he tells them to be more violent, or the what else? Detaining people. So they started arresting protesters and putting them in jail. And he also tried to get the police to go after the opposition. So the opposition, did I spell that right? Opposition, opposition. Okay, the opposition, which is, I can't remember her name. I think it's like Koznikova. Kozlesnikova, right? So she was protesting too because this guy's a dictator and he literally, like, is controlling the government. Oh, hello, Tanaka. Wait, Tanaka, is that Aoi or is that Daria? I always see Tanaka and then like the senpai symbol or something, but I never know if it's. But yeah, hello, thank you. So Tanaka-san, is that Daria or Aoi? Daria or Aoi? I'm wondering. Aoi, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, so the opposition, the woman, Kolesnikova, who was trying to get the presidency in Belarus, she went protesting too. And actually, she like had some trouble with Lukashenko. He wanted to like arrest her and put her in prison so that he would not have any like opposition and no forces against him. And so she left the country and she was on the border of the Ukraine and Belarus. And what she did is crazy. She was on the border, kind of trying to be safe, and she had a problem of either be like arrested in Belarus by Lukashenko or be exiled in the Ukraine. So she didn't know really what to do. So what she did was she took her passport and she ripped it in half and she just threw away all the pieces and she destroyed her passport because she didn't want to be forced into one situation. Yeah, pretty badass though. Like, could you imagine like there's these like border police, and they're like, "You're under arrest by evil Belarusian Hitler," and you're just like, "Shh, don't care." Yeah, I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty crazy. It's pretty funny. And so that's how that happened. And I think like 200 people have been arrested. Yeah, about 200 people have been arrested for protesting, which is a pretty big number. Anyways, let's move on from the situation in Belarus. Uh, Hopefully, it will get better in the future. Have you ever been to Belarus? Have you ever been to Eastern Europe? So Belarus, Eastern Europe is like over. Sorry, this is very hard because it's like the way the camera is. Belarus is like around this area. Oh, it's so hard to coordinate my finger. Yeah, it's like around there. If you can see the little map of Europe, it's like this way, like Eastern Europe, like over here. Super hard with the camera. Um, yeah. If you've been to Eastern Europe, let me know. That would be awesome. The only place in Eastern Europe I have gone is the Czech Republic. I went to Prague or Praha, and I had a great time. Very cheap, lots of tasty beer, lots of nice people. Um, but yeah, you might know Belarus as being a kind of used to be part of Russia. So like Minsk in Belarus, I think used to be a Russian city a long, long, long time ago. Anyways, yes, I've been east. Oh, where did you go in Eastern Europe? Like Hungary or Czech Republic or Slovakia or Belarus? Tell me where you have been. Is it Nana something? Sorry, my kanji's not very good. Nana Nana something. Seven something. Tell me what country you went to in Eastern Europe. Okay, so if you don't know anything else about Eastern Europe, it's kind of interesting. Nanami. I knew it was Nana something. I knew it was Nana. I got the seven. I know that one. Okay, Nanami. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, tell me what country you have been to in Eastern Europe. Um, yeah. So if you don't know about um, Eastern Europe so much, maybe you've heard the word like Bohemia before. So Bohemia is kind of all central, like kind of like from Austria down to Czech Republic, and then I got it. What over here? And Bohemia used to be like Hungary, Croatia, and like to a point like Eastern Europe and stuff. And so there's lots and lots of history back there. Like if you look at Eastern Europe, at one point it was like all hippie artists and poets during the age of Bohemia. During other times, it was all Russian. And at other times, it was all like part of like almost like part of Constantinople. It was like ready to be invaded by Muslim forces. There was so much history, so much history. It's really amazing. Is Baltic states in Belarus? Ah, good question. The Baltic states are Belarus is one of the Baltic states. So the Baltic states being, I think, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, and Belarus, I think. Here, let me double check that. I'll double check on my magical downstairs. Okay, let's see. List of all the Baltic states. Baltic states. Yeah, so Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, Belarus, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, oh, but I think Belarus is not actually in the Baltic states. So Belarus is beside the Baltic states, and actually, the Baltic states, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, are the first ones that have made sanctions against Belarus. So sanctions. So Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia have made sanctions against Belarus because of the Lukashenko electoral fraud and the dictatorship. So sanctions means like um, maybe like a penalty or like a price or a tax or like not working together. So like the Baltic states have said like, oh, we don't like what you're doing in Belarus. So we will not trade with you. We will not give you these things. We will not give you a good deal or a good price on certain things anymore, right? Um, and the Baltic states are doing this to try and get the UN to join in the same way. They want the UN to join and pass more sanctions and then bring the army. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's crazy. So that was point number one. Let's go over point number two just a little bit, which was the current state of the Brexit affair. We'll talk about a tiny bit, and then we'll have a Q&A. Okay, so Brexit at the moment has officially been passed. There is no turning back now. However, there is a big problem with Brexit and the Northern Irish border. So up here, that's Northern Ireland. The rest is the Republic. So if I go zoom, 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 up like that, that tiny corner is Northern Ireland, right? And so because of Brexit, so before Brexit, during European Union, there's no border between Northern Ireland and the rest of Ireland, right? So I'm from the south part. I'm from the European part, so it's okay for me. But recently, um, the British government has said like, oh, because of Brexit, we will change the border and change the laws in Ireland, which could be a really big deal. Not really sure how it could turn out. Um, hmm. Yeah, kind of, kind of a scary situation because in Ireland, back in the 1980s and before that, there were a lot of problems in Northern Ireland and in the Republic, Northern Ireland, Republic. So there was sectarian violence. It's a big problem. It's used to war there. Yeah, no, I mean you're totally right about all of that. Yeah, and so in Ireland, there was sectarian violence. So lots of like car bombings because some of them were Catholic Christian and the others were Protestant Christian or like kind of English Christian, right? Um, and because of that, they would use car bombs and blow up schools, blow up houses, blow up lots of different places. And it was a very big problem. So everyone's kind of worried about that right now, but I think it's going to be okay. Um, Brexit right now is just kind of a total mess. I saw recently that the Brexit campaign has cost the UK more money than the entire membership fee for the European Union for the whole like 60 or 50 years that they have been in the EU. They have spent more money, more taxpayer money just on Brexit. So it's like, why do Brexit when it's going to cost more money than the thing you're leaving costs? Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, let's summarize. So we have two things: Belarus and a little bit about Brexit. So what's going on in Belarus? To summarize, Belarus president made fake votes and is now a dictator. He changed the votes, he changed everything. So now he is still the president, and there are protests and lots of crazy stuff in Belarus. Summary number two, UK Brexit. The border between Ireland and Northern Ireland is a worry for some people. Again, they're not sure what will happen. Yeah, it could be anything. It could be totally crazy. Okay, so that is the gist of what we're going for. So, what do you guys think about the situation in, I don't know, in Belarus and in with Brexit? Let me know if have you ever been to the Baltic states or have you ever been to Belarus? Have you been to a Russian speaking country? Well, I guess like Belarus is like they speak Russian, but it's not like Russian Russian. It's like how in the Ukraine they speak Ukrainian. It's not Russian, but it's very similar. Kind of like Spanish and Italian, maybe. So very close, but not exactly the same. Maybe like German and Dutch, or like, I don't know, something like that. Anyways, is there anything else that we have going on here? Let's see. Any other questions? I was gonna play a song tonight, but I don't have my guitar with me. Wonder if we have any instruments here. Do we have any instruments here? No. We do not have any instruments here tonight. Otherwise, I was gonna bust out a ukulele or something, but that's not gonna happen. Okay. Well, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about something else then, seeing as we've got 5 more minutes. So if no one's gonna give me a question or say anything more in the comments, that way, chicka chicka, I'm gonna speak a little bit more. Okay. So what else is new in Europe? Okay. This isn't new, but it's probably something that's very surprising that most people don't know. And I think it's a very interesting thing for you to think about. Okay. So in Portugal, boom, boom, boom. Here's Portugal. It's like on this side, right? Over there. Yeah. So in Portugal, the drug laws are extremely different to almost everywhere in the world. It's totally crazy. So in Portugal, there are no illegal drugs. They've all been, oh, I really enjoyed tonight. I like to know about Eastern Europe. Oh, that's great. Yeah, yeah. Actually, the seeds to Europe, to Russia, come from Europe. The original city that Russia came from was a tiny city or country, kind of like a kingdom. And I think it was called, what was it called? Not maybe Novgorod or something. But basically, the first Russian city came from Eastern Europe. Uh, a lot of people don't know that, but Russia is kind of originally from European settlers that went from, wait, let me see if I can find it on the map. Like around here, near like Kiev in Russia or Ukraine, kind of this area. They went all the way up and around. And they spread out and they mingled with different people in the area, with Mongols and so forth. Eastern Europe is very interesting. Maybe we'll do a little more about Eastern Europe next time. Today's topics are very interesting for me. Hot news. I'm glad that you think that. Oh, Tomoya Yoshida. Oh, okay, very good. Thank you very much for saying that, Tomoya. So, this is my food for thought. I want you to think about this until next week. So, well, like I was saying, in Portugal, wrong side. It's so hard to find it with my finger. How do I find it? Oh, here it is. Portugal. It's over here. Okay. So in Portugal, um, no drugs are illegal. How crazy is that? So all drugs are um, decriminalized. So if you have like cocaine or heroin or any drug and you're found with it, if you're selling it, it's illegal. You go to prison, which is makes sense, you know. But if you're found with it and you're taking it and you're an addict, then instead of sending you to prison, they will give you, they'll take the drugs or whatever, and then they will give you a like letters and registration seats for rehabilitation. And they found because actually Portugal a long time ago had like the worst drug problem in like Europe. And now they have like almost no problem. It's like people get better, they get like loans from the bank, they get a good job, and they stop being addicted to drugs through rehabilitation. So it's a very interesting idea to decriminalize all drugs. Just totally crazy idea. I'm interested to hear what you think about that and like how what would happen if they did that in a different country or in Japan or whatever. Oh, you do know that. It's interesting. Yeah, it really blew my mind the first time I heard it. Um, yeah, very interesting. Anyways, that's all we have time for today. So I'll see you guys all back here next week. And next week I'll have like either my guitar or ukulele or maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll bring my concertina. It's like a traditional Irish instrument. And I'll play you some traditional European music. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you for joining. And this is good night from your European friend, Steve. Okay. Hey, just to confirm, we're ending at 30 past, right? Yeah. Okay, just confirming the time. Good night, everybody. Bye.